Hey, I'm Kyle. I own Front Burner Marketing. I want to do a comparison today of Perplexity AI versus Google search for local businesses. So if you own a HVAC, plumbing, remodeling, we're going to look at remodeling today. But any one of these companies where you go out and service someone at their home, this works for other businesses. You see burgers, restaurants. It works. It'll be helpful for you as well, but I primarily help local service companies. And so that's where I want to focus today. And I want to show you what's coming because it's really already here. You're already losing business because you're not optimized to the way that Perplexity and other AI search engines want you, or they're not really search engines, but that's how they're functioning. They're a competitor to Google's search engine, right? And so that's the way we're going to look at it. I'm going to call them search engines several times in this video. I promise you that because I won't. That's the way I think about it. I readily know they're not primarily search engines, but that's the terminology we're going to use because that's how this is functioning. So I'm going to start with just a really kind of generic search: best burger restaurant in Flower Mound. Now, Flower Mound's a city on the north side of Dallas. I have several customers up there, so I like searching for what's around up there. So, best burger restaurant in Flower Mound. This is the Google return. Okay. This is what you've been seeing for years. And I'm going to compare that to Perplexity. Now, I chose Perplexity because I ran a poll on Facebook, and Perplexity by far was the most popular Google alternative in the AI realm. It's important to recognize that Google has their own AI going, but because they were not first to market with it, they are not competing as well. In my opinion, I think another big issue with it is they're truncating their AI result under this show more. So I have to make one more click to find out the information. Also, they're including aggregators like Yelp and like TripAdvisor in the main part of their search return. So I still don't have an answer, right? Now, they've got some results here in these links. So that's good at least. But I feel like there's like an aversion going on in the marketplace right now. Aversion is like when you don't like something, you're going to stay away from it. So ad aversion is a very commonly understood element in local marketing because a searcher, your prospective customer, doesn't want to be pelted with ads. They want to feel like they made their own decision, and they don't want to feel like they had to look at ads to find it. So it's called ad aversion. The number of people, I believe now the number is still around 35-40% of people who are willing to click on an ad. Okay. So I believe the same thing now is happening with Google. Google is now in place that Yahoo was in back when Google took over search, where Google is now the least preferred choice. People are moving more and more to AI, and Perplexity is really popular in the local space. Okay. So this is the Google search return for best burger restaurant in Flower Mound. Now let's immediately move over to the Perplexity result. Now, immediately what I see here, and you tell me what you think. If you disagree with me, put it in the comments and you can tell me what you think. But what I see here, and this is even someone who I have not really used Perplexity AI for local, but I'll tell you immediately what I see is this is much cleaner. I get results immediately. If I want to make one search, one click, and find a restaurant, this is it. I can't do that with Google. It's too crowded up with all these other things. I've got to actually scroll to be able to get down to what they're trying to tell me down here. Okay. So this is another thing with Perplexity. It's giving me pros and cons. And that's something that is very consistent within their results. So this is really important. This is all really, really important for you as a small business owner. You've got to understand that this is here. This ship has docked and it's unloading. The invasion is happening. Okay. And so the TLDR of this, too long didn't read, is you don't have time to catch up to this. You've got to get help because you're losing business to this today. Right now, as you are watching this video, you're losing business to this because this is taking traffic away from Google. So whatever optimization you had, you're losing business now because again, this is taking traffic away from Google, and that was your main source before. So you've got to catch up with this. And if you're bound and determined to do this, you'll hear me repeat this. If you're bound and determined to do this yourself, you just got to jump on your horse and get all your reviews pushed out to all the popular platforms. Yelp, Business Bureau is a good one. TripAdvisor shows up a lot in Google search returns. If it's possible, get some information out on Reddit, because as AI becomes more and more educated, it's going to begin to pull from all these other sources. Right now, it's primarily Google. When you see these search return numbers, these view returns, those are generally Google's returns. They're not aggregated from any other source. Okay, so let's look through this a little bit more. Let's get down to something more relevant for you and your business. I'm going to jump straight over to kitchen remodeling. I was researching that for a client, so that's what I was looking at. So let's take a look at what the search engine return page, SERP, I'll call that SERP from now on. If you are familiar at all with this world, you've heard that term before. So we're going to look at the SERP for Google. And again, I'm going to keep calling the AI SERP page. That's what I'm going to call it. So we're going to compare these two pages. Okay. So one thing immediately apparent to me in Google is that they disagree a bit with their own AI overview. They're showing Rave, Texas Remodelers, statewide, 1, 2, 3, then Modern, right? Yet Modern is first in their links over here, and it is first in their map listing. So they're, even themselves, their own AI is behaving differently than their local search return for maps. So that's a little, that'll show you how quickly this is getting upended, how quickly the turmoil is taking over even Google's own internal search metrics. They don't agree. They don't stack up. Okay. So let's compare kitchen remodeling in Flower Mound. Now we go kitchen remodeling Flower Mound. I'll compare this with AI in a moment, but I want to look first at best kitchen remodeling company in Flower Mound. Now, this is another thing that's happening in Google is you don't always get an AI over. Oh, the AI overview is pushed down. Okay. So you get kind of the same thing. You get emphasis for Rave and Modern Blue. The others are down in here and there's no emphasis, right? So statewide remodeling is just word down here. It doesn't have any emphasis like Rave and Modern Blue do. But again, you go down into their locals on the maps and Rave is not in here. It's not in the top 3, but it's mentioned first here. Okay. So even here, when you come over to the right links, Modern is first, Rave is second. So there is just a lot of mishmash. That's what I would say. Now, when I compare best kitchen remodeling company in Flower Mound to best kitchen remodeling company in Flower Mound, I want to show you something that's happening here in a moment when you add on the Texas. But right now, we're going to just look straight at the comparison. Now, very similarly, this is clean. I immediately walk into information. Bam. What if I got general information, where it's located? Then I have pros and cons. General information, where it's located, pros and cons. Again, the review count here is what's coming from Google Maps. Most of this information is coming from Google Maps. Okay. So now when you get into these questions right here, I think are a shortcut to getting yourself onto the AI returns. I think if you answer these well, that's probably your quickest way. That and get your reviews spread out over multiple platforms. Right now, they're primarily using Google for review sourcing, but I think it's not very far around the corner where they will begin to use review sourcing from all platforms that are out there. They're going to be able to source between those and sort between them, so they're able to tell what type of review is coming from where. Now, here's what's fascinating, and this is where you should get really worried. You should be very worried about what I'm about to show you. When I put TX on the end of this query, the results change pretty drastically. So here we have Modern Blue, RDG, statewide. RDG is now first, statewide, and what was the other one? statewide and Modern Blue are not in the top 3 at all. That's massive. Okay. When you've got the number one across dozens of categories, you've got the number one on Google across dozens of keywords, doesn't even show up at all when you put TX onto the AI. Now you might say, well, it doesn't matter because Google's still the 800-pound gorilla. That day's passed. Google has lost a lot of weight. Google is now maybe a 300-pound gorilla, and there's another 300-pound gorilla out there punching them. And that's what's happening. And this is why I'm so urgent about this. This is the urgency you hear in my voice is you have to get on this today. You don't have a choice. You can't ignore AI for another millisecond. You've got to jump on this because, again, I keep getting back to this. I'm still blown away by this. In just maybe 6 months, these results have gotten so much more solid. They're going to get better and better. But we don't know yet why the result is so drastically different. Okay, there may be a very sound reason that AI is giving you a different result. But as long as this is happening, you're losing business. You're losing business when these modifiers are put on and you're not prepared for it. You simply have to get on this train. Okay. So I'm going to look at a couple of other things and then we're going to jump off. It's already 12 minutes. I'm going to keep this under 15. So we looked at this already. Oh yeah, I jumped out on that a minute ago. So when I look at the sourcing, when you look back up at the top of these returns, you'll see sources. This has 3. That's telling. I might investigate that some other time. This has 9. This only has 3. That could be why the difference with the TX added onto it. But right now we'll take that was in kitchen remodeling. Yeah. So what I think may happen with this, which would be very good for the market, is that the website listings may come back. The website links may come back. And if that's the case, that's going to be really good for small businesses because for 15 years, we've been putting time and effort and energy into these website links and only for Google to push them down by emphasizing ads. But I just wanted to show you when we look at this, this is by and large exactly what Google returns. So we know then that that AI is just sourcing the Google SERP for their links. So when we go here and we look, we start at the top. Modern Blue is first. So we got Modern Blue, Rave, DFW, and Sunday. Go back over here. We got Modern Blue, Rave, DFW, and Sunday. Our next ones are Better Business, Statewide, Eco, and RDG. Better Business, Statewide, RDG, and then they go into more results. Now I haven't dug into this enough to know what the divider line there is for, but my main point is all of these returns are primarily the same as what Google's given you. So that's important because that does mean that your efforts haven't been wasted. But again, the last thing I'll say on this, I'm going to repeat the same thing. If you're bound and determined to do this yourself, start today. Go out and get your reviews put on any other platform you can get somebody to put them on. Angie's List is worth investing in if just to get the ability to put some reviews on it. You add that to Yelp, you add that to TripAdvisor and to your other sources, Pinterest. That's going to help you in the long run. But I would just say get started today. Put all of your content on any platform you can find because AI is coming and it's already completely revolutionized the search landscape. I'm Kyle Bailey with Front Burner. I'll answer any questions down in the comments. Any way I can help you, I'm happy to do it.